Here we are in the Rise and Shine kitchen for the last time in 2015. Mark Kujawa, our pasta chef, is with us again. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, and great to be here again. Love it.
It is, of course, coming up to Christmas, and you've got a Christmassy festive dish for us today.
Yeah, we're taking French toast, and we're going to put all the bells and whistles for Christmas all over it. So it's going to be great.
Looking forward to it.
And I've got to say, Mark, look at all these beautiful decorations. I feel like we're a bit on the home shopping network right now. We've got a Christmas tree behind us, presents and tinsel. So we're looking forward to this festive dish.
Yeah, it's going to be great. It's a good spill, and you can do this at any time of the year. But all we're doing is putting Christmas elements into the French toast, so it's going to be good.
All right, so explain to us what's different. I mean, because obviously most people are familiar with French toast, but what are you doing differently today?
All right, so obviously your French toast is basically, it's always egg and milk. That's your mixture that you then soak your bread in, so a good thick toast or whatever, and then you fry it till it's nice and golden brown. Obviously not cooking it too much because you don't want your egg to go omelette or scrambled eggy-ishly and split. But what I've done is I've just taken elements of Christmas. So obviously Christmas is full of like your summer fruits for us in Queensland, cherries are great, nectarines, things like that. Putting in the Canadian original French toast, has like peaches in it, has bacon in it, and maple syrup. So I've brought in some of those elements. No bacon. I'm sorry, Rob. I know. But that's okay. And then I've used a fruit toast. So I've used a real heavy fruit toast that's got like apricot sultanas in it. Then I've got obviously your mixed spices. So your things like cinnamon, nutmeg, and allspice, which are your Christmassy sort of flavours, your eggnoggy, Christmassy flavours into that, and then so what we'll do is we'll fry off the French toast nicely, and then we'll add all those fruit elements on top, cherries, nutmeg, and drizzle it with maple syrup.
Might I say, the smell is already beautiful here because you've got those peaches cut up, the fruit toast, the cherries. It's just a beautiful summer fruit smell, isn't it?
Smell this around, see what I mean?
Oh, very nice.
See?
Oh, yeah.
There's your Christmassy. That's European Christmassy. It reminds me of when I was working in Germany over Christmas, because obviously Christmas is cold over there. It's minus 15 degrees. The fountains freeze up. All the lakes are frozen, and you're walking through the gardens, and they have these massive big horse and carts with a big, massive, huge, big wine barrel. In that is a thing called glühwein, which has got red wine, all your oranges, and then all your spices in it, and they serve it warm. So it's a warm red wine. Got to be really careful because it hits you like a brick.
Is it like mulled wine then?
Sort of like a mulled wine, but warm. Right. So the English side of things, the mulled wine. Yeah, so this is the German side.
I'm saying mulled wine here, but it's mulled.
Mulled wine, not mouldy, mulled. And but the twist on it is that the Germans, they put cloves in it. So it gives you the clove. It's really awesome. It's a great flavour.
Because the other thing I think of with particularly cinnamon and Christmas is the whole eggnog thing, because that's a traditional thing for Christmas too.
Yeah, people like eggnog. I'm not a big deal on it. I don't like that eggy flavour, in a drink. So I like a more vanilla-ishy, and then I get away with it. But that's American eggnog, chestnuts, chestnuts roasting on an open fire, all that stuff. So that's that kind of stuff. So we're just incorporating all sorts of flavours, especially the Queensland summer fruits, into it. So it'll be great.
All right, so take it away. What are you going to do? You're going to crack your egg and get started?
Yeah, well, this part of the session, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to crack the egg, and we can look at the different kind of fruits. We can talk about your nectarines and what I've done with the cherries, and then we're going to start soaking the bread, and then when we come back, the pan will be hot enough and we'll fry it up, So if you're doing, the bread, for starters, we'll start off with the bread. This is just a real good, heavy fruit loaf, all right? You want a heavy bread, like a sourdough or something like that, when you're doing any kind of French toast. A big doorstopper, you got to be careful the white is too soft, and then it will just go mushy. You actually want the omelette-y, that's what we're sort of doing, as an omelette mix in it, to soak into it a little bit, but you don't want it to be soggy or eggy. You want it to fry off in the pan. So you're almost making an omelette with bread. Does that make sense? So we want a thick bread in that. So this has got it's got all your Christmassy flavours in it already. So all you do is we're going to crack an egg. So probably one good size egg, and then maybe about, let me just see, it really doesn't matter how much you put in, maybe 100 mils of egg, something like that.
I love it when I'm cooking. I am so specific with, get a cup and fill it and make sure it's right to the... You just go, that'll do.
That's a lot more than I anticipated. So what's the reasoning behind that?
Yeah, well, because there's enough egg in that, because we don't want to do scrambled eggs. This is what people do wrong. They'll put it in and then make a sweet scrambled egg. Yeah, it's awesome. All we're doing, it's like an egg wash. That's all you're really doing, because we're just going to soak the bread. Mm-hmm. We don't want to chuck it in the pan and you got stuff going everywhere. You want to soak the bread and then we cook it and you make an omelette-y kind of bread. So we just mix the egg through. And it's got things. Now, some people will put sugar in this. You can put vanilla in this and all those kind of spices. But because I've probably got some of this already, I haven't gone that far. So all I'm going to do is, because we're going to drizzle maple syrup on it later, so I'm going to incorporate a little bit of maple syrup into my egg wash. So that gives that little bit of sweetness to it.
A little bit is a squirt. That's the measure, a squirt.
Squirt. And then I've got my allspice, which is, the cinnamon, the cloves, and the allspice flavours in that. And we're just going to pop that into that as well. Now, this is what some people will probably put, like you could dust it on top afterwards. You could dust it with some sugar and allspice as well, but I won't do that today. I'm just going to do it later. So now I've got this nice raw flavour of your eggs. There's enough sweetness in it once we put the maple syrup on later, but, so you can already smell those flavours.
Yeah.
So they're there like that, right? So that's the mix. So all we do now is we place our bread in, and all we're going to do is we're going to just soak that into it. Just for a while. So because it's a harder bread, it's just going to take a little bit longer to soak. All right? So as you can see there, it's already softening up. Yep. And it's almost ready to go. So when we come back from the break, set that to the side. When we come back to the break, we'll dip it one more time, and then we're going to fry it in the pan.
Great. Okay.
Heat's ready to go. So obviously, like last time when I explained, you put your hand down, and when you start to count to 1, 2, 3, 4, oh, that's starting to get a little bit warm. So this is all about temperature of your pan, because if you put it in and it's too hot, you're just going to burn everything. If you put in too slow, it's just going to sit there and go, this is just lovely. I'm going to slowly warm up. So what you want is the butter frothing, okay, or frothing in a way. So what we want is we're going to put the butter in. There we go.
I love how these butter cubes are actual cubes. They're not just, getting it out with a spoon like I would.
So you can see there, see it, that froth, not the hoff, the froth, okay? So now we put our egg back in. So you can see, like, I move it around. You can hear that. And now I just get this and a nice dob of it into like that.
Oh, wow.
So we want to slowly now heat it up and warm it and cook it. You don't want to fry too much. So we want to, like, put it to the side a little bit. You know what I mean? Move it around. Okay? Because all we're doing, there's enough egg mixture in the French toast. So what we want to do is to fry this nicely and just get it golden brown. That's all we're doing. So little bits there are crumbing around the side. We're really making a real authentic French toast here. This is great. So we've got the cherries and our nectarines, so you can use peaches as well. So they're great in season. If you want to do this outside of season, you can use canned fruits, but just be careful that you've got, dry them down, and it won't taste as good as if you have fresh ones. But so all I've done is I've taken the seeds out of the nectarines, and they're nice and soft. The peach is ready. And cherries, I've obviously cut them in half and de-seeded them. Okay, don't serve it with the seed in there. It'll be too crunchy.
That's very thoughtful of you.
It'll be way too crunchy, So as you can see, slowly. So it started to golden up there, but I'm going to toss them over a few times. Turn them one way, turn the other way, turn the other way, turn the other way. Mm-hmm. Cool. Okay, just move them around because we're cooking the French toast that's all the way through there. All right, so that's just doing its way. It'll probably take a couple of minutes to do that one.
Good. So, Mark, is this time of year for you? You're a pastor and you're a chef as well. Is this time of year really busy for you? Like, what's happening with your church community leading up to it? Are you cooking up the whole congregation a storm?
No, we're not. But look, we are doing a lot through our care shop. So we're doing 500 gift boxes for our community. We do them actually this Sunday coming up. So we do them at the church and wrap them all up. But for us as a church, we sort of get into all the events that we're doing over Christmas time. We're doing a pizza giveaway. 800 slices of pizza we're giving away to our community. We're handing out down at the local Centrelink area gift boxes and so on like that for our community. Out at a street care night time, we're doing food out there and gifts and packages and all that kind of stuff. So a lot of that we're doing now. But once we sort of hit the 20th of December, for us it sort of slows down a little bit. For a lot of churches, once you get to Christmas, you do your Christmas, and then you ease on through to January because everyone's got holiday mode. For us, the church, we can't do a Christmas Day service because where we hire our facility, it's shut on Christmas Day. So we do our Christmas service always the Sunday before. So for myself, being in ministry for 17, 18 years, it's only been the last 3 since we've planted this church that I've actually had Christmas Day off because we used to always do a Christmas Day service. So I'd be underway at 7:15 in the morning, off to the Christmas services. But in the place that we are now, we haven't done it, and we love it. So our families, we hand out to them like a pack for their family that's got like how to do communion, a little Christmas message, some kids colouring in things, a nice message on that, some prayer points of what they can do as a family and pray like for the needy, the family, the community, and how it works. And we encourage our congregation to, on Christmas morning, spend an hour together as a family. And our church has loved it. They've loved it. And so, you know what? I'm running on that because for the last 3 years now, it's been the first time in a long, long time, even before I became a minister, I was a chef, so I was always working Christmas Day. Yeah. It's always on. So I never had Christmas Day off. So this last 3 years, it's been great. So,
fantastic. Oh, that sounds like a good thing. I even just resourcing the families in the church is good too. Like not just saying, well, have the day off, but well, here's a way that you can actually, fellowship together as a family.
Yeah, exactly. And so, it's sort of airing that, sort of moving towards that. A lot of people, some people love a Christmas Day service, but not everyone can come out, and people want to spend time with their families. So.
It's also a great idea, if you don't have a church in your local area, or if you're away on holidays somewhere and you're spending Christmas morning in a different location. That way you can have the family together and keep the focus on Christ on Christmas Day.
It is, and that's very important, So anyway, French toast is up. All right, so as you can see, I've turned it over 3 or 4 times, and now it's golden brown. So, and you notice all the little bits are gone? Because we had little bits around. Now their bits are now crusty and all around here, and they're caramelising. And that's what you want. So you want that nice bread that's got that soft little flavour, but inside it's nice and tender inside, but crispy and sort of golden brown on the outside. Okay. So now the butter now has gone into the bread, so you've got that fullness of flavour. So it's a rich flavour. Okay. So I've got my fruit and bits and pieces. So what I'm going to do first is I grab the French toast and put it on the plate. Probably from about 11 o'clock to 5 o'clock on a clock time, leaving some space on the right-hand side. And you want to do both, pretty well the same. So I'm just going to lift this up, put that in there, like that.
That's about 11:30, I think, mate.
Oh, sorry, mate. Then we're just going to get onto the side of it, and this is where I'm going to use some of my fingers, but you guys will be right. I'm going to put 3 or 4 nice big, wedges or slices of the nectarine because they're nice and soft. And then we're going to coat this all with maple syrup, so don't worry about it too much. Then I've got cherries, so about 5 cherries that have been de-seeded for each one. Put that on top of your nectarines, like that, because you want that cherry flavour. A small dust of the allspice on the fruit, just a small, otherwise it gets too much. But again, we're incorporating the flavour, so we've got that in the bread. Now it comes on top of that. Now the maple syrup. So you want to drizzle that across the fruit, like so. So now we've got maple syrup that's in the bread. Now maple syrup that's on top of that. And then just before you serve, just one strip across the top like that.
Right. That looks
there we go.
Amazing. Can you smell that maple syrup? Wow.
So you should be able to eat it just with a fork, but Richelle and Robbo, go for it and enjoy. Look at that.
Okay, we'll get a picture of this if we can. Did you get one?
Yep.
Okay.
We pitch it up. So it's all there. So you've got all those bits and pieces that you need. It's fantastic, So what I've done this time, I've got a devotion, but it's more like a little message, if that's okay. And I've written it out because Christmas is just that time of the year where there's so much to it, And for me, it's one of the most... Oh, Richelle's just...
I'm sorry. That is amazing. You have to try this recipe. We'll put it up on the Facebook page. Beautiful.
You'll get into it. So, just fruit. So, Christmas for myself is, and not only being a believer, but just any time of the year is probably for myself the best time of the year. For some people, it can be some of the saddest time of the year and hard because it reminds them of lost family members or those that have moved on or families that are not united together. But for the sake of that, let me just give you a brief Christmas message. So Christmas by far is the best season of the year. Putting up the Christmas tree, dusting off the Christmas ornaments, getting out the traditional silly shirt or hat that you might have, and loosening up those vocal cords, you know, oh, holy night. It's the carol time of the year. It's the season to be jolly, to be happy, and to be festive. Christmas is a time not just to hang out with family or friends, but to celebrate together the true meaning of Christmas. So Isaiah chapter 9 says this, "For unto us a child was born, a son is given, and the governments will be upon his shoulders, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, and Prince of Peace." And it's talking about Jesus there. The wonder of Christmas is centered on the birth of Jesus Christ, with the humble stable, the shepherds in the field, the stars in the night, and the angels and the choirs that are singing in heaven. Christmas, the time of God's greatest gift to the world, which was his son. Now, have you ever wondered how Christmas and the Christmas tree began? Well, in the 17th century, the humble pine tree, trimmed with lights and other decorations, became the symbol of what was called the paradise tree or the tree of hope. Traditionally, it was decorated with edible foods such as apples, nuts, and dates. Then in the 18th century, it began to be illuminated by candles, and well, that's a bit dangerous, but anyway. But when electricity arrived, well, Christmas took on a whole new focus. Maybe your tree has an angel or a star on top of that tree. Well, this is to remember the Star of Bethlehem from our Bible story. And in the book of Matthew, it says this, "When the wise men saw the star, they were filled with joy. They came to the house where the child was and saw him with his mother Mary, and they bowed down and worshipped him." So does anyone know what the rule is to when it is about the Christmas tree and when it comes up? Does anyone know when you should put it up or when you should put it down? Well, I say put it up whenever you like. In our house, it goes up the first week in November and it comes down the last week of January. My wife loves Christmas, and there is nothing better than a Christmas tree alight at night reminding us of the love of God and how he always and always will be with us. Friends, Jesus is the reason for the Christmas season. So why not make Jesus the center of your Christmas this year? I guarantee it'll be the best celebration you ever have. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Thank you, Pastor Mark. And make Jesus the centre of Christmas, and make fruit toast just a very slight dish to the left there, because that was amazing.
Right, so Pastor Mark, thank you very much for the segments you've been doing on the show for us this year. We've got a little gift for you for Chrissy, for the family.
Wow.
This is a Lebanese recipe cookbook, and this lovely lady, she's from Wollongong, I believe. She's got a fantastic story of her life throughout this one.
Fantastic.
And to add to your beautiful Christmas tree, this is an olive wood bell, and as you can see, it's been hand carved out there with the manger inside it. You can hang it on your tree. It's from Jerusalem, Bethlehem, olive wood, made by Christians, carved by them. So that's just a little thank you.
That'll go great on a tree, because our tree takes almost like a day to put up, and we've got like our own little baubles for each member of the family, and with their names on it, and special ones over the years that we've collected. So this is definitely going. They say in the castle it's going straight to the pool room, but this is going straight on the Christmas tree. Thanks, guys.